Most people come to Bali for beaches, shopping and waterfall, and today we're on a mission to find the most beautiful waterfall here in Bali.
We will be visiting 3 different waterfalls, each with their own unique charm, and we will be trying to decide which should make it to the top of your Bali bucket list.
So today is off to a really good start. We've just arrived at our first waterfall today and we are the first ones here. It technically doesn't open till 8 o'clock, however we managed to arrive at 20 to 8 and they were still here. So that's a very good start. It's absolutely stunning so far. We're currently just walking over a little bridge and we're just surrounded by rice terraces, beautiful green grass, waterfalls. It is absolutely stunning. The bridge is a bit wobbly though, so something to bear in mind. But yeah, could not ask for a better start to today. So we're just heading down some steps now to the base of the waterfall, so hopefully the view should be incredible at the bottom. We don't really know what to expect, but we paid the cheapest amount, so let's see what it's like.
We have reached the base now. We've been walking through this beautiful green tropical canyon. There's a little waterfall on our left as we came through, and we've got this beautiful river, but I can hear the waterfall now. I don't think we're far away. Let's go check this one out. I think it's just behind there. We can't quite see it yet. We have all of these stairs to go up again first, but it's actually quite nice that it is like paved and staircases, so you can just come in like a dress and sliders and you'll be absolutely fine. Oh, I'm excited to see this. Whoa. Oh my goodness. It's not just one like fall, there's like 2 that split into 3. This is amazing. Look at that. Wow.
So we have just reached the base of Aling-Aling Waterfall, which is meant to be one of the most beautiful waterfalls here in Bali. And it is absolutely stunning. You just see the water flowing over the top. It is 35 meters tall and you can feel the spray coming off the bottom, even from about 50 meters away. It is insane. This waterfall is also sacred to locals as it's believed the water has purifying powers, which is useful for like medicine and also healing. It costs 20,000 Indonesian rupiah each to come here. However, this is only the fee to come to like the viewpoint and do the walk along the trail. However, we recommend doing this one. There are some other options you can do. There are loads of activities you can do here, like ATV tour, giant swing, and there's a lot of like water slide and also canyoneering you can do along the further down the river. So if you want to give that a go and then have a bit of an adrenaline hit, you can book a local guide and they'll show you where's safe to go. However, you're not allowed to jump in if you're not with a guide due to safety reasons, but it is absolutely stunning here. We can't wait to explore a little bit further downstream where there's meant to be 3 more really impressive waterfalls as well. So we've just finished at Aling-Aling and it was stunning, but now we're just heading downstream and hopefully there'll be 3 more incredible waterfalls we can see. So these are the ones you can jump in if you have a guide. However, it costs 250 Indonesian rupiah each, so it's definitely a lot more expensive, but it looks like a lot of fun from what we've seen online. So if that is something you want to do, I highly recommend doing it, but we're just going to do the hike along the waterfalls and have a look to see what Bali has to offer. So this trail is so peaceful. We're just surrounded by nature and there's not a single person on the trail. It's about 20 past 8 now, so the park has officially opened, but there's still no one else here and it is absolutely stunning. It's very easy to follow. It's not that like complex or anything, but it can be a bit slippy underfoot if it has been raining, so just be aware.
Look how massive these tree roots are. This is like, they're huge. I mean, from the other side, okay, it goes all the way down to the other side, and it comes up almost to my knee. That one's even bigger. This is massive. This whole valley feels like we are in like some kind of fairy tale. It feels like I wouldn't be surprised if there were just like little goblins or fairies running around. That kind of vibe. It's so beautiful, especially with the morning light just shining through. I can imagine later in the day it gets pretty hot in here because I think the sun's just gonna like tunnel straight in, but it's really nice and cool at the moment. We have made it to the second waterfall. It wasn't too far from the first one. It was actually a really easy walk. This one is slightly shorter. It's only 12 meters in height. However, you can do a jump from this platform here, which is about 5 meters high, into the water. You do have to pay extra for that one. That ticket costs 250k per person, whereas ours was only 20k just to do the walk. But if you want a bit of an adrenaline rush, that looks very cool to do. Apparently you can also slide down this waterfall. They use it as like a water slide, which, I mean, I feel like that's a little bit high for me to do, but it sounds so fun if that's the kind of thing you're into.
So we've just come to the next waterfall. We're currently at the top of it now, and apparently that bit just there is a jumping platform, and it is 9 meters down. Apparently the water at the bottom is about 3 meters deep, but that looks insane. Definitely not for the faint-hearted.
Oh, that is so cold. That is like ice. It's a little bit slippery. We have come to the last waterfall on this trail. The last 3 waterfalls have been really close together, so you can kind of do one after the other. In fact, like they almost interjoin. Like this one, we can see the one behind it. This one's called Gitgit Falls. I believe this is another cliff jumping spot, and it's 14 meters high, and it looks very high. I certainly wouldn't be doing this one. The other ones didn't look too bad, but this one, wow, this is high. This is giving me a little bit of vertigo. Absolutely stunning though.
So we've just made it to the end of the path. It literally stops in the middle of the water. I believe this is the point where you can like jump and swim if you do have a guide. However, we can't because we didn't pay for one, but it looks absolutely stunning. To do this final waterfall, you do need to do a little bit of a river crossing. So if you don't want to do that, you can just skip it and then head back. It has been so impressive, definitely worth the visit. However, if it's the best one we're visiting today, we don't know yet. We'll have to wait till the end to see, but it's definitely a good start. So we've just made it back to the car park and our driver is just waiting for us here. We've decided to rent a driver for the day because it'll make things a lot easier. You can rent a scooter, but some of the roads are quite windy and can be quite dangerous. So we paid for a driver to take us to 3 different waterfalls today. So hopefully this will be the easiest way to do it. So we've just arrived at our second waterfall today. We're currently at Git Git Waterfall, and it took about 20-25 minutes to get here. Yeah. However, I think if we weren't with a driver, we would have driven straight past it.
Yes. The parking's on the left, and then the entrance is like a little bit further down the road on the right. So I'm glad we had a driver and a guide for that one. Because
it's just like a small little alleyway. It says welcome to Git Git, but probably very easy just to walk straight past. So we're just following the trail down and hopefully have a very impressive view at the bottom.
So if you try to search for Git Git Waterfall on Google Maps, it's going to come up with at least 2 options, which are just down the road from each other. We have heard of like a scam going on with this, where you might be told and directed to the wrong one and then charge an extortionate entry fee. I'm kind of trusting that our driver has brought us to the right one. We have also heard that there can sometimes be a lot of like aggressive sellers near the entrance along here. I'm assuming that's where all of these are. Maybe they're just not open yet. It's about 10:15 now though, so I would have thought that they would be open by now. Maybe we haven't reached them yet, we'll see.
So we've just paid our entry fee to get to Git Git Waterfall. Everything online said it was meant to be 20k, however we end up paying 45k each.
But
So-
it was on on the glass, it
Yeah.
said 45k and like a sticker, so.
Don't know if they changed the price or what, but
45k is still a good price, so
Yeah.
I'm not mad about that,
No.
but worth noting.
we seem to be going past a lot of the little market stalls now. They haven't actually been too bad,
No.
like obviously asking you to come in, but they seem to be fine.
Yeah.
Maybe on the way back when they know that this is their last chance, but we'll have to wait and see.
We're currently just following this beautiful path through like this valley again. It's absolutely stunning. The nature here is so beautiful. This is the side of Bali we haven't experienced yet, and this is the side of Bali I was most excited to experience, and it's living up to that.
No, thank you.
We are just descending into the valley now, and we have finished passing all of the stalls. They honestly weren't that bad. Obviously they said like, oh, you know, do you want to look? Do you want to come in? Do you want anything? But we said no thank you and carried on walking, and they were fine with that. But for now it's been absolutely fine. The only reason I was a little bit nervous because we'd read reviews on Google before coming here, literally from about 3 weeks ago, that said that like the waterfall was lovely, but the experience not so much, because you had to walk through lots of people trying to sell you stuff quite aggressively and not really taking no for an answer. But we certainly didn't have that experience today so far. Maybe it's because we're not in peak season anymore, so it's a little bit quieter. I don't think everything's open, so that's something to bear in mind. Oh wow, that's amazing. I think this is the tallest waterfall we've seen so far. Might have to fact check that, but it looks the tallest. It's very quiet here as well. There's one other group, there's one couple with a guide here and us, and that's kind of it. Very peaceful. I didn't expect it to be this peaceful, to be honest. For one of the most famous waterfalls in Bali, I thought it would be quite busy, especially at about 10:30. So I'm very pleasantly surprised.
So at Git Git, unlike Aling-Aling, you can actually go in the water at the base of the waterfall, and if you are absolutely mad, you can do what this person just did and fully submerge. However, there is a local superstition that if a couple bathes underneath the waterfall together, they are destined to split up in the future. So don't think Megan and I are going to do it, but it looks absolutely incredible. But I bet the water is absolutely freezing. So I have currently come to the base of Git Git Waterfall, and the mist coming from it is quite severe. You do get very wet. You can bring swimming costumes and go in there, but it is very cold and very wet currently. My camera's getting very wet, so might have to put it away in a sec. But it's 35 meters tall, so technically meant to be the same as Aling-Aling. Looks a lot higher. It is very impressive. And again, there's not many other people here. There's us and a couple who have just arrived, but yeah, highly recommend checking out both, because these are both beautiful waterfalls. It is just this one. I think further upstream there might be twin waterfalls and hidden waterfalls, but I think we're just going to this one today. But it is absolutely stunning. We've got one more to go, and then we'll make a decision on which one has been the best day, but so far it's been incredible.
Git Git Waterfall is definitely a lot less adventurous, a lot more Insta. But it is a great place to come to get Insta shots if you want those, typical Bali waterfall photographs. This one's a lot better than Aling-Aling for that.
We've just taken the hour drive to our last waterfall of the day, which is Sekumpul Waterfall.
It cost us 20k to get in. We have only paid to do the viewpoint, however. Time's ticking a little bit and the car park was very, very busy. So we're just going to the viewpoint, but there might be a little surprise as well.
Yeah.
If you want to go down to the waterfalls, I think, is there 4 waterfalls again that you can go to?
Something like that, yeah. I think there's 2 or 3 extra waterfalls and a blue pool, like blue,
yeah,
like twin
like
lagoon as
lagoon.
well.
That's 150k, so it's actually not a bad price. We just don't really have the time today.
No, I mean there's 2 different hikes you can do, one medium hike and one longer hike. So the longer hike's obviously more expensive, but if you do have more time, it's definitely something to check out. You can also pay for one of those and get like a taxi down to the bottom, because apparently it's like a 20-minute walk. So if you don't want to walk, you can just get one of them and pay a little bit extra.
But we are happy walking.
Yep. Part of the fun of each of these waterfalls have actually been the hike down to the waterfall, and Sekumpul is no exception. It's absolutely beautiful, just surrounded by greenery, amazing views everywhere you look. So highly recommend like taking a moment and taking in the view while you're walking down, because it is absolutely beautiful. You do have to be careful of the bikes coming around the corner, but apart from that, yeah, it's just very beautiful and scenic. Wow, that is quite cool.
We've made it to the viewing platform, and look at how insane this looks. We don't have just one waterfall here, but there's a second one over that way too, and you can see the rice paddies in the background. It is absolutely beautiful. Sekumpul Waterfall itself is this one, and that's over 80 meters tall, making it by far the biggest we've seen today, and possibly one of the biggest in Bali. It is also one of the most popular waterfalls in Bali, and we can see huge crowds down, especially by the second waterfall over there. There's a lot of people here now. Sekumpul in Indonesian means group or collection, because it's not actually just one waterfall. It's a collection of like multiple little streams, all creating this one beautiful waterfall.
For the 20k entry fee, you get access to 2 little viewing platforms, one just down there where he's posing, and the other one just up there where all of them posing. So you get 2 different viewpoints. They're quite similar, but they're both really good views of the waterfall. And there's one other thing you get access to, which we're about to show you now.
So last stop for today is a cafe. Yay! If you know me, I can't go without a cafe stop. If we're going out, there has to be a cafe somewhere. But this isn't just any cafe. Look at this view. This is called Hanging Valley Cafe, and it literally sits right on the edge. You've got the viewing platform below us, waterfall there, green everywhere. The prices are really reasonable, and just what a view.
We have just finished at the 3 waterfalls we wanted to visit today, and they were all absolutely stunning.
My personal favourite was Git Git. I thought that was so beautiful. It was huge, and the fact that we could actually go in the water as well was really cool. And it was so quiet there.
Yeah. We did also learn from our driver, apparently that is the oldest waterfall here in Bali, which is just crazy.
They said in the 1980s, when tourism started to peak in Bali, that was the one waterfall that tourists could go to.
Yeah.
And now it's not so popular because tourists prefer to go to places like Sekumpul and Aling-Aling.
Yeah.
But I thought Git Git was beautiful.
I think my favourite was probably Aling-Aling, where it was cheaper, and also you got 4 waterfalls for the price of one, which was just incredible, and they all had their own like unique charm as well. So
and the trail was really peaceful.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Sekumpul is definitely impressive. It's the biggest, but unless you pay a lot extra, you don't get to go down to the bottom.
No.
That is the thing with a lot of Bali waterfalls. You have to pay a lot extra to do like any activities.
Yeah.
So,
But I think Aling-Aling had a nice balance because you could go down to it
yeah.
with still only paying like the smaller fee.
Yeah.
You just couldn't go in the water.
Yeah.
So if you want that kind of thing, Aling-Aling's pretty cool.
Yeah. So hopefully this video has been useful, and if you enjoyed it, press the thumbs up, and if you want to see more Bali content like this, click subscribe, and we'll share plenty more of the best places to visit in Bali with you.
And more waterfalls.
Yep.